So next we see the security policy and IPsec. Okay. Now IPsec we said is a network layer protocol. Okay. We are going to get messages from the transport layer. When we get from the transport layer, okay, how are we sure whether this particular packet should undergo security or not? Okay, some of the packets, they need not be very secure. We may not be using this security. Okay, in some packets only we need. How do we know this? Okay, this is determined by the security policy database. Okay, so it is the security policy database that determines whether a packet that is sent or received should pass through the security, or it should bypass the security, or it should be simply dropped. Okay, now how is this done? This is based on the decision based on fields in the IP and transport headers. Okay, now what are these fields? These fields that are used to make this decision are called selectors. Okay, the selectors include the destination IP address, the type of transport layer protocol, that is, it could be TCP or it could be UDP. Okay, so that field is also used. Then the type of application. Okay, like how do you know the type of application? In the transport layer, you have the port number. Port number corresponds to the application. For example, for HTTP, what is the port number? Port number is 80. Okay, for DNS, what is the port number? It is 53. Likewise, for FTP, yeah, it is 53. Okay, so likewise, for FTP, it is either 20 or 21. For SMTP, it is 25. So depending on the port number, you know what the type of application is. Okay. So now, using all these fields, that is what we call as selectors, we will use these to index into the security policy database. Okay, so these selectors will be used to index into the security policy database. What is the output of this security policy database? We will get either the security should be done or it should not be done. Okay, if it is not done, fine. We will not use any of this IKE or IPsec. Okay, if it is to be done, then we will check whether a security association has been created. Okay, if already this packet is a part of the IP traffic where a security association is created, then fine, it goes ahead. Okay, the SPD will return a pointer to that security association. Okay, if not, then or if the security association has expired, we are giving the lifetime of the association. Okay, suppose that has expired, then the IKE protocol is used to establish a security association between the sender and the receiver. Okay, so in this way, the security policy database is used to determine whether a packet should pass through security or it should be bypassed or it should be dropped. Okay, so it is the security policy database that is used. Our next topic is virtual private network or VPN. Okay. Now, VPN or the virtual private network enables organizations to communicate securely over a public shared network such as the internet. Okay, we can have a dedicated line between the two communicating parties, but then that becomes very costly. You have to maintain it, everything, the installation, maintenance, all that becomes a very costly affair. So instead, what we do is we communicate securely over the public shared network, that is the internet. So for this purpose, IPsec is a very good protocol that is being used. Okay. Now in VPN literature, we come across two terms, that is secure VPN and trusted VPN. Okay, what is a secure VPN? a secure VPN uses cryptographic techniques to provide not just confidentiality, but also authentication and message integrity. So a secure VPN provides confidentiality, it provides authentication, and it provides message integrity. Okay, so a secure VPN is going to provide all these things. Whereas when you come to a trusted VPN, okay, it does not use encryption at all. Okay, the customer traffic is not encrypted. So the confidentiality is left to the infrastructure of the service provider. Okay, so you know that this service provider provides you confidentiality, you go in for it. Okay, so it depends on the service provider, but the VPN does not ensure that. Okay, so a secure VPN is the one which provides confidentiality, authentic message authentication, and message integrity. Okay, now we have two most widely used VPNs. Okay, they are site-to-site VPN and remote access VPN. Site-to-site VPN are used to link multiple offices of an organization, which we usually call as the intranet. Okay, that is, we try to connect multiple branches of a bank, etc. Okay, multiple branches of an organization are connected through site-to-site VPNs. Okay, it need not be an intranet; it could be an extranet also, wherein multiple business partners are connected together. Okay, so all pertaining to a particular organization are connected together through the site-to-site VPN. Now, what do we mean by remote access VPNs? Remote access VPNs connect teleworkers, that is, mobile worker users or users from home to their offices. Okay, so individuals connecting to their offices is what is called as the remote VPN. Okay, so we have two most widely used VPNs: site-to-site VPN and remote access VPN.